Hello class, in this video I'll demonstrate lighting in Unity 3D and how to import your model with texture, and also we'll construct a horror game, a basic horror game. Alright, so here let me show you how the game looks. So here as I open, you can see I only have a cone light. It covers a small area and I can press keys. So if I press one key, is the default light. If I press two, I get a bigger area. However, the light is more kind of a weak. And three, I cover a broader area, and again, the light is more weak. If I want to see the far side, I can instead of hit one for the default light, I can hit 4 key. The 4 key will be a spotlight. It can be it can illuminate very far area, but it really only cover a very small area. Or I can also press 5 key. So the 5 key is a lantern light, so I can cover everything around me. However, it doesn't go very far, right? So I can walk in this space and explore what I have here. So this is a horror game, however, in this demo game, we will only create the environment. We will not import any zombie or monster in the game to scare people. Okay, so let's see how it works. Let me go back here. So first, I have this model fully textured. Okay, this city model, and here's the structure. So I put everything, these files that only have one model, I put it in the root of this project. Okay, and for the model that have the same texture, for example, here I got 3 models. It has the same texture, right? So I put it in a folder. Okay, and also before I move on to Unity 3D, I select everything in the scene in the hierarchy here, and make sure I am modify and freeze transformation. Excuse me, and delete its history. Okay, so by doing that, we cleaned all the history nodes in the project. Otherwise, you may have issue in Unity 3D. All right, once you have done all of these, and then you can go to, make sure you don't select anything, and go to File and Export All. And here we would like to export as a FBX file format. And you can put a name and save. It will be saved onto the folder. And if you don't see the export as a FBX option, just go to Setting Preferences, go to Plugin Manager, and search FBX. And here we go. All right. So as you check it on, and then close, and then you export it again, and you should see the option. All right. And then here, as you export it, here's the FBX file, and in the source image folder, that's all the texture image I have, right? So let me open a new Unity scene. I think I'll save. Okay, so it will open a new scene, and we'll start it from scratch. Okay, here we go. So this is the sample project I've sent you. So it already have the character assets imported, the first person character. So if you don't have this sample project, you can just go to assets, import package, and character if you already imported. Or if you don't see it here, go to assets store. So you can go to Windows and assets store. Where is it? So my window is very small and I can see it very well. Oh, here. So general assets store, and then in the store you can search for character assets. Okay. So here we have opened this project, and first thing we'll do is import our model. Okay. Since now our model have texture, so I want to import model and texture at the same time. So how the model looks in Unity, in Maya, it will be looked in Unity 3D, so I don't have to manually import it. Okay, so let me show you how. All right, So I will not import it directly in here. Instead, I'll go to the folder here, okay, and under the assets folder, I'll create a folder, name it model, and another folder, name it texture. And while you are doing this process, don't switch back to Unity 3D. All right, and see, go in the model, we will copy the city model to here, and then go to the source image folder and import all of the texture images. Copy all of them, and then go to the texture folder and paste. Okay, see, while I'm doing these steps, I never switch back to Unity 3D, because if you import a model and then switch back to Unity 3D, and then the program will think, okay, you don't have the model and don't have the texture files, and then they would replace it with the Unity 3D default material, and then you have to manually apply all the different material and textures, and it can waste you a lot of times. So I always do this. So import, create the model folder and texture folder and import everything here, and then once I'm done, switch back to Unity 3D, and then you'll see that the program will update all the files you have imported. And then if you have normal map in the scene, usually it will have issue, and you just have to click on fix now, because in Maya and Unity, the normal map, they read the normal map in a different way, so you just have to convert it to what Unity 3D can read. Okay, and here you should be in the models folder, right? So now if we, as you can see, if I drop it into the scene, we can see the model with texture, right? However, the model is very small, as I see here is very small, so I can make it bigger. Okay, so let's bring in our character first. So I'll go to the characters folder, go to first person character folder and prefabs, and then I'll drop in our first person controller in here. So you can compare the sizes, and the model is really small. Okay, so I'll just make it bigger. So select the whole folder, the city folder. As you can see, this is a Maya file I have in Maya, right? And these are the root files here, right? And then inside there's the folders. All right, so I can select this whole project, and then I can make it bigger. So in my case here, I would put it 150. I already tested the scale and it works great with my characters. So, however, when you import your model into your own scene, it may be different. You just have to compare the scale. Alright, so I'll bring this whole thing, I'll select the whole thing, hit W key, and I'll bring it down. Oops. Make sure you select the Y axis and bring it down. Okay, should be good. And then I will select this first person controller and make sure it is above the ground. Okay, and let's select this folder and hide it for now. And the plan I created by default, right? So now I can hide it. All right, so now let's show the city back. So as you know, if I play, my character will fall through the wall, fall through the plan, because for this model I haven't applied any physics to it, right? So what I will have done in Nested class is we select the model here, all the 3 floors, and the wall, which is on the boundary of this whole project. We'll select all of these 4 models and come here, add component, click on that, and just hit ME, so you'll find it, mesh collider. So apply it, and then you'll have a mesh collider applied on the model, and now you can play. And then you can see that my character can stand on the ground, I can jump, I can walk and run, and the scale looks good. Okay. And keep in mind that I only applied the physics to the ground. I haven't applied it to the building, so I can still penetrate through it. So now let's exit. So here's the important thing. See, for all of these buildings, these are the folder, right? So if I come here, so these are the folders, and inside the folder, these are the actual models. So if you want to apply the physics to the buildings, you have to actually go into the folder, not the folder itself. So you have to apply the physics onto the building, the model, not the folder. So select the model in each of the folder, apply a mesh collider. Here again, here, and here. Alright, so now as we've done all of them, if I play, you should see that I'm not able to go through it. Alright, and another issue, well, it's not a real issue, sometimes you may have is when my character get very close to the model. Let me find a good spot. Okay, so sometimes you will see that when you get very close to your model, you should be able to see through your model. Right now it works good. However, on your model, if you get very close to your model, sometimes you can see through the building. So what you should do is, my model looks good, but if you have the issue, you'll just have to select your first person character, okay, and go to the clipping planes and change the near from 0.3 to 0.05. So what this does is, how far you can see your object. So if I put a 0.3 by default 0.3, so if you are closer, if you and the wall is closer than this distance, for example, if you only have a 0.1 distance to the wall, and then you should be able to see through the wall because you can see it. So this decides how far you can see an object. Alright, so now we put it much closer, so now we should be fine. Okay, so that's the basic setting, and then let's move on to the lighting. So right now you can see the lighting by default is the afternoon, right? So if you select the directional light by default, okay, as you can see, this is a lighting angle, and it doesn't matter where you place this directional light in the scene. So it always illuminates the object in the same way because this is directional light. It is like the sun, right? So if I hit R key with E key for rotation, and let's see if I rotate it, and what do you see? If you rotate it, as you can see, this simulates the sun. So if I rotate down, as I'm rotating down, and also the sky, the color of the sky changes. So this simulates the time of the day. Okay, so if you are for your game, if you want it to be close to the sunset, so you may rotate it in light like this, or if you want to be the light, or after the sunset, you can just rotate it down like this. However, because this is a horror film, I want it to be entirely black. So what I'll do is I'll just select it, right click, and delete. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first person character, and this is the camera that's attached to the first person character. So it is like the eyeball of our character. So this is what we see. So here, from the character's point of view, the background is a skybox. So we just have to click on that and change it to solid color. And then here, this is the camera view. This is the game view. So this is what we see from the camera. So here, as you can see, as we change it to solid color, and the background is the background color we choose. So we can click on that and choose it to black color. Alright, so now we've done the skybox. However, as you can see, the model still have some color, right? So what we can do is go to top menu window and go to rendering and lighting setting. Click on that, and then here in the setting, for the skybox material, you can click on here and assign it to different material. So by default, it is skybox material. Okay, so we can go to the top and long, so it'll be a long, nothing. And here for environment lighting, so that is the lighting, the ambient lighting we have on our model. Okay, so we can also change it to a color, or you can just keep it a skybox, it doesn't matter for environment lighting. However, this matters, the ambient color. So if you choose, click on that and change it to black, as you can see now the whole thing will be black. Okay, so in this stage, if I click on play, and in my game I can't see anything. Okay, so so this is how we change the lighting, how we make it entirely black. However, since we are still working on the lighting, I still want to be able to see my model, so I'll temporarily change it back to some lights. So I'll change it back later. Okay, so now let's move on to the lights. In the demo game, as I show you, I can press the key 1 to 5, right? And then I can switch it between the different lights. Okay, so now let me show you how I can do that. First thing is you'll have to get a script. Okay, so I will provide the script on Blackboard. And where is it? Let me. Okay, here's the script. So I will open it in Visual Studio. So for those who haven't installed this program, okay, Visual Studio, you can just search it, Visual Studio, go to this website. It is free for the personal version or student version, so you can install it. It has both Mac version or Windows version. Okay, so here's the function of the script. Okay, so basically, let me just give you a brief explanation. So basically, for this script, we will have 5 objects. If you only want 4, you can delete one line of the code. So here we'll use 5 different objects. So these are 5 objects, and here are the name of the object. So when we apply this script to our model, to our character, you will see these 5 options. And then, as we start this game in the start stage, the first object we set it here, it will be active, so it will show up. That means, and for all the 4 other objects, the set active is false. So that means the all other 4 objects, it will be hidden, by default. This is the default stage. And then here update. So it will happen. It will not happen until we do something. Okay. So after we do something, this code will update. So the function what we'll do is input. So we'll have an input which is get key down. So we press a key. So here's what we're gonna press. So as we press 1, and then it will update the code and it will run after this if statement. So if it will run this part. Okay. So if we press down the 1 key, it will change the state to the first object. The first light, it will be true, so it will be active, it will show, and all other 4, it will be hidden. So that is the same as the default state. Okay, I'll explain why I still put it here as the default state. So here, let's say if you press 2, it will update this part. So it will make the second light. Oops. It will make the second light as active. Okay. And it will make the first light and all the other three of the third lights to 5th light, it will set them as hidden. Okay, so that's the second part. So if you press 2, and if you press 3, it will show the third light, and the first one, second one, and 4th one, 5th one, it will hide. Okay, same thing as a 4. So if you press 4, the fourth one will show. It'll hide other lights. And the fifth, press 5 key and it'll show the fifth light. Okay, so as you can see that, if we go any of these, it'll show other lights except the first one, right? So if we want to go back to the first light, and then you have to press 1, and then you'll go back to the original state, which will be, it will show the first light. So that's why I still have this part. That is the same as the initial state. Okay, so that is the code, and I already posted it, so you can download it. And then what you will do is you will copy this script, and then we'll go back to our Unity folder, and under the assets folder we'll create a folder. We'll name it as scripts and paste it here, and then switch back to Unity 3D, and you should be able to see here it updates. Here is it, the script. So we'll select our FPS controller, the first person controller, the root folder, and scroll down below here, and then we'll go to add component, and here you can either go to its script folder, or you can just search here. So the name of the script is switch. You can search switch or 5, it'll show up. So apply it, and then as you can see, by default these are the 5 objects we call, right? The 5 object we call get object. So now we can create the lights and we can apply it to here. Okay, so we want to create a light, and we want the light position is as same as the character, the player. So what I'll do is I'll select the first person controller, the root folder, and hit F key to lock my view onto it. And then I'll go to top menu, game object, and light, and this time I'll create a spotlight. So here's the spotlight. Okay, and before I rotate it, see here's the front side. Before I rotate it, I want to select my character. I want to know the front axis of my character. So I hit W key, and here's the Z axis. So basically, the Z axis, the blue arrow, is the character's front axis, and is the angle that the direction that my character will see. So now I know the direction, and then I'll select the spotlight and hit EK for rotation, and then I'll rotate it along this direction. Okay, and I can also go to the inspector and I can change the rotation to 90. Oh wait, I'll change it to 0 actually. So here we go. So this is the distance your character can see in your project. Okay, so here I can make it bigger, so I want it to see the wall. So move it to the wall, close. Okay, and I don't want it to cover that big area, so just something maybe like this, a smaller area. And here for intensity, I want to put it as a 3. And what else? Okay, hit return key, and then let's just play and see if it works. Okay, it works. However, as you can see, the light, it doesn't go with our character, right? So I'll hit ESC key to quit, and then click on the play button. All right. So now what I'll do is I'll rename it as light 1. Okay, and then I'll drag it and drop it onto here, this folder, the first person character. Okay, and then if I play, so now the light should move along with my character. Okay, and then let's see, we can select this light and hit Command D for duplication. So if you're on Windows, use Control D, and we'll rename it to light 2, and I'll select the first light and I'll hide it. Click here to hide it, and select the second one, and for the second one, oops, I want to just click on here. I want to increase its range, not range, the area it can cover. Okay, maybe I need a bit bigger. And for this one, since I needed to cover a broader area, so definitely I want to lower down its intensity. So I want to lower it down to 1. Okay, just 1/3 of its original intensity. Alright, so that's the second light. And then I can make a duplication and rename it to 3. And hide the second one, select the third one, and make it bigger. And here I will change it intensity to 0.3. Alright, and then let's see, what I want to do is let's create a fourth light. So I'll select the first one, duplicate, and I'll rename it to 4. So now we have the first 3 lights, have this range. The range is cover the distance to the wall, right, from the camera to the wall. So that's the first 3, and for the fourth one, okay, here let me show it. For the fourth one, I want it to cover a longer distance, so maybe around here. Alright, and then I want to make it really small, just a very small area, because it can cover a longer distance. And intensity, I want to do it at 4, just increase it a little bit, maybe 5. Okay, so this will be the fourth light. Okay, so now you can see for all of these these 4 lights, I did the same way, right? Just to create a spotlight and then duplicate. So for the fifth light, I want to do something different. Okay, so I'll go to the top menu, game object, and light, and I'll create this time I'll try point light. I'll name it light 5, and I'll hide the fourth one, and I'll drag this one to here. Oh, see, I just created a fifth light from nowhere, so it just pump out nowhere. So I'll just delete it and do it again. So I'll select the first person controller and hit F key to knock my view on it, and then go to the game object and create a point light again. So this time the light will be on the same spot as my character. Alright, so for this light, I'm going to increase its intensity to 3, and I'll change its color to orangish color. Okay, and I will also name it to light 5, and I'll drop it to here.